It is my pleasure to introduce this morning's keynote speaker. Tala Alahmar is one of our very own, a recent alumna of Oakland Community College in Michigan and a 2021-2022 Phi Beta Kappa, Phi Theta Kappa International President. She has quite a story to tell. Tala moved to the United States from Syria during the country's civil war, and she began attending Oakland Community College only 1 month after arriving here. She became involved with the student government, the International Student Club, and Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. She was awarded the Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship worth up to $40,000 a year to complete her bachelor's degree, which she's currently making progress toward at the University of Michigan. Tala is pursuing a degree in international studies, and she hopes to become an ambassador for the United States, the United Nations, to advocate for childhood education in countries experiencing war and conflict. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce a shining example of those who our institutions are fortunate to serve, Tala Alahmar.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's such an honor to be able to stand here and share my story with everyone. I remember the moment my life changed. It was 2011, and I was in the 6th grade. It was lunchtime. My friends and I were eating and talking in our school playground. It seemed like any other day, but it wasn't. We heard what sounded like gunshots. Our teachers started yelling for us to go inside. And I remember one of my friends started crying, saying that she didn't want to die without seeing her parents. Later that day, we learned that one of my school teachers was shot right outside our school by opposition groups because of a social media post that he made about the civil war in Syria. Until that moment, I thought that I had a plan and that I was going to grow up to live a simple life. I was born in Syria, a place that I loved. And I had plans to grow up and attend Damascus University, just like my parents. And I thought that I would lead a life similar to theirs, a normal life. But that moment changed everything for me. When the war in Syria started, it felt like my life was over. Electricity, fast Wi-Fi, and clean water became a privilege that not everyone enjoyed. And safety was measured by how close shotguns and bombs sounded. My school, which was located in the rural areas of Damascus, had to relocate to city buildings where we wouldn't be targeted. Years later, my family and I decided to immigrate to the United States, where life would be safer and more academic opportunities would be available for my siblings and I. However, that didn't come easily due to a travel ban that was imposed on some Arab countries, Syria being one of them. Eventually, we were able to get our visa and immigrate to the United States. I was forced to leave my childhood dreams behind and adjust to a foreign and unfamiliar reality. In a lot of ways, I had to grow up overnight. I left Syria with a heavy heart, but also with the hope for a better future here in America. Immigrating for me wasn't easy. While before, prom was my biggest worry, now I was faced with the challenge of thriving in an environment where I didn't know anyone. When I first immigrated to the United States, I felt homesick, and I began feeling depressed. I isolated myself and was afraid to speak up in my classes, worried that someone might hear my accent and ask me where I was from. When I would say Syria, they would respond with pity and sorrow. Then I remember one day, my dad was picking me up from school. I told him how unhappy I was and that I wanted to go home to Syria. And I'll never forget his response. He looked at me and said, "You're the main reason that we're here. And if you're not happy, there's no reason for us to stay." He told me to give it one more semester. And if by the end of the year, I still felt like I wanted to go back, we would pack our things and leave. And I am so grateful that he encouraged me to give it just one more try. Hope was right around the corner. The next semester, I received an invitation to join Phi Theta Kappa. It came during a time where I felt so hopeless. I joined for the friendships, hoping that it would make me feel less alone. And it worked. I immediately felt welcomed and like I was finally a part of a group. I started to feel like myself again and found myself running for officer positions and stepping outside my comfort zone. But I also learned a lot about myself within the last couple years specifically. Progress isn't linear, and success doesn't come without a fight. And here's what I mean by that. Last year, I completed my associate degree with honors, received a Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship, was admitted into the University of Michigan, and was elected to serve as the 2021-22 Phi Theta Kappa International President. Those around me have seen my successes, but I've also had challenges too. Last year, I've dealt with rejection, and I struggled with anxiety, depression, and PTSD. At first, I felt scared, and those old feelings of inferiority and isolation began to resurface. But instead of shrinking, I made the decision to grow. By being vulnerable and sharing my feelings and struggles with those around me, I was able to get the help and support that I needed. And I learned that I'm not alone. You are not alone either. None of us are. I am so grateful for my Phi Theta Kappa family. It has been an unexpected gift in my life. Over the past 4 years, I have been filled with so much pride watching myself grow from the person who chose to sit at the back of the class to the person I am today, standing here and sharing my story. 11-year-old me would not imagine that this would be my life. Growing up, I didn't expect to be here, but that's not a bad thing. I am so fortunate to be able to be in a position where I can advocate and share my story and bring awareness to something that I am very passionate about. One thing that I'm also very particularly proud about is the enhanced global awareness that I've gained. From meeting people from different backgrounds through Phi Theta Kappa to studying abroad this semester in Barcelona, I'm filled with so much happiness that I'm able to learn more about the world and immerse myself in different cultures. For all the students that are here, take advantage of every opportunity, especially those that look intimidating. These tend to be the most amazing ones. And student empowerment doesn't stop here. We are charged with the responsibility of passing it on to other students. Speak up and share your story. We are all so unique, and we bring something new to the table. And we're so lucky to have people in our corner who are advocating for us. And take pride in your community college identity. Let's get together and fight against the stigma guarding community colleges and show everyone why we are CC Smart. And to all the administrators here, I want to say a heartfelt thank you. You have no idea what the work that you do mean for students like me. It is because of people like you that I'm able to stand here today. So thank you so much.